Salutations, viewers. My name is GameDame, and welcome back to another one of GameDame Reacts. So, Marvel's Midnight Suns was one of the games I actually had chills running down my spine because they had, I think, Enter the Sandman playing by Metallica, and they had like the gold and the black outfits coming along. And what we saw in one of the trailers is they had to revive one of these women to go after this other witch, but the girl was like not a huntress of some sort, maybe an assassin, but it was the daughter of that said witch. And I got chills because I saw Ghost Rider, I saw Wolverine, I saw more than just, you know, your average, not your average, but the faces of Marvel. There were more characters than just them. So I'm excited to see what they explain more about the gameplay in this Marvel game, because I know Marvel's Avengers was kind of a flop in the beginning, but Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy does not look terrible, but we shall see with Marvel Midnight Suns. So without further ado, let's watch the game explained by Firaxis, gameplay explained by Firaxis for Marvel Midnight Suns.
Firaxis will have favorites like Wolverine, Blade, Magix, and Captain Marvel fighting back demons of the underworld with some help from Doctor Strange and an all-new original customizable hero, the Hunter.
The Hunter!
Jake Solomon has joined us today to tell us a few more details about this new tactical RPG. Jake, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you very much for having me. I can't believe I'm actually talking about this game to somebody. So yes, sorry if I'm a little fired up right now.
No, fired up is good. We like fired up. There's probably no bigger property in the world today than Marvel. No pressure.
No
How
pressure.
Did you come to work on such a big universe as the Marvel universe?
I mean, it was... So this is like a dream project for me and a lot of members of the team, but it wasn't something that we had really thought about. It was actually Marvel that approached us because they were fans of XCOM, which is the game we were doing before.
Yes, XCOM.
And sometimes you hear that, and you don't know whether they, people say, oh yeah, I loved XCOM. But the first call I had with the Marvel team, they had like an executive vice president on the call, and he had very specific feedback for me about like the finale mission of XCOM, and a bunch of people were chiming in. So they were true fans, which was awesome. So we knew that we were going to partner our gameplay expertise with their amazing narrative. So it felt like a match made in heaven.
I do love Firaxis as well. Hire me, please.
Series. Can you speak to the connections between your game and the source material?
Yes, they're deep. So that is my favorite comic book event from when I was reading comic books as a kid. So yeah, the Rise of the Midnight Suns, it's this awesome early 90s, like hair metal style, supernatural event. It's probably the premier supernatural event in the Marvel comics. And it was something I grew up loving. It pulled together all the supernatural characters and had them fight this giant threat, which is Lilith, the mother of demons. And so we took that, like from the very beginning, when we started working with Marvel, we knew that was the story we wanted to tell. We wanted to go to a corner of the Marvel universe where we felt nobody else was at that moment, and it gave us our little space that we could tell our own story. And so yeah, it's a comic that I and my narrative director both loved, and it's amazing. I recommend people check it out.
It's a good one for sure. I highly recommend it, you guys.
A chance to create your own original customizable hero, the Hunter. Can you tell us about what was that like creating this character, and what are the Hunter's powers?
So this is one of those rare ideas that actually from the beginning, when we were thinking about the design of this game, we always wanted to have a customizable character, something kind of new for the Marvel universe, because we wanted the player to be able to put themselves into the game. A lot of this game is about not just fighting in combat, but also developing relationships with the heroes of your choice.
Yes.
The way you do that is by being the hunter. And so this hunter, they have a narrative connection because in our universe, they are actually the child of Lilith. But you can customize this character to look however you want, and you can customize how they play in combat as well. And that means you can channel light powers, which are a little more support, a little more buff, a little more healing, or you can channel dark powers, which are a lot more destructive, but they incur a cost on the hunter and the allies.
I believe that you'll be making those connections at the Abbey, in between missions. Go on a mission, come back to the Abbey, chat with your fellow heroes. Can you tell us what players can expect to do in their own mystical base?
Yes, so the Abbey, again, it's an all-new location that we designed with Marvel, and this is where all the Midnight Suns come back after combat, just like you said. And so I think there's like two big fantasies. If you're a fan of Marvel, there's like two powerful fantasies. One is fighting in combat, having that epic, awesome
Was that
Marvel
Blade?
combat.
Wait, I didn't see Blade in there.
Is also seeing the heroes hanging out with each other, how they interact with each other. And so that's the other big fantasy we want to fulfill in the Abbey. So yeah, after you come back from missions, you can choose what hero you want to hang out with, and you could say, all right, Ghost Rider and I are going to play video games, or Doctor Strange and I are going to meditate on the cliffs, or Tony Stark and I are going to go lift weights. And so the player has a lot of different activities to choose from, and it's not just hanging out at night. You can join clubs around the Abbey, you can talk to the heroes during the day, and all these things have an impact on your relationships with these heroes and how you sort of form these friendships. And of course, those friendships have huge benefits in combat gameplay as well.
Are there any characters you can become more than friends with, or is this?
I totally get why you're asking that. I think that, in your mind, you can be whatever you want to be, but we are saying that you are just very, very, very close friends.
Whoa, okay. Got it.
I like that
the
question.
heroes that you've revealed so far include some very well-known characters from the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Runaways. Can you share any details on what sort of your versions of these iconic characters are, how they differ or not from the more established portrayals that people might be familiar with?
Yeah, that's important because some of these characters, as you said, Doug, they're really familiar. People know who Wolverine is. People know who Iron Man is, Doctor Strange, and that's okay for people to come into our story with that knowledge. But at the same time, this is an entirely new universe that we've created, and so we've kind of set up our own story. And so Tony Stark is still genius, billionaire inventor, but in our universe, he and Doctor Strange are being forced to work together, kind of this marrying tech to mystical, and they've got this very at odds relationship. But we're also introducing a lot of new characters. So characters that players may not be as familiar with, and that's exciting for us. So characters like Magic, who's an awesome New Mutant and X-Men character.
Yeah.
Nico from the Runaways, which you mentioned. The new Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider.
I love it.
I don't know if I'm so old that I don't know, do people know who Blade is anymore? Who doesn't know Blade? But maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some people who aren't as familiar with
Blade's
Blade.
important!
So for us, it's fun to have the established characters and pull them into this dark side of Marvel. It's fun to see the characters you know and love and put them in this situation where you never see them, fighting demons, all these supernatural threats.
If people have forgotten about Blade, they're going to remember when the new Marvel Blade movie comes out. So your characters,
That's right.
You've already revealed some fan-favorite
I
characters.
can't wait.
Is that roster going to continue to grow? Are you going to reveal more characters as we get closer to launch?
Yeah. We have 12 heroes in addition to the Hunter at launch. So we're going to definitely reveal more of those as we go on.
Got it. Looks like the heroes that we've seen so far are wearing new costumes. They look great. Is there any sort of practical purpose to the costumes that you've designed here?
Yes. So players are going to be able to unlock new costumes for their heroes, all of which unlock their ultimate ability, this legendary ability called their Midnight Suns ability, which for every hero is sort of battlefield changing. They unlock passives through that as well, but all of those
I love
things
that
are
Ghost
fueled, again, by
Rider.
your relationship with those heroes. So if
Look.
you want them to develop the strongest version of that character is one that the Hunter develops relationships with.
So since we're going to be dealing with more mystical elements, supernatural elements, how does someone like Wolverine compete against an enemy like that?
Well, he can't die.
Well, yes, that's exactly it. And that's what's kind of fun is saying exactly like Wolverine or Iron Man or Captain America, what is it like when they have to fight demons? And so that's where they're kind of on their back foot when they meet this other team that is used to the supernatural, the original Midnight Suns. And so the idea is that the Hunter is there to kind of pull everybody together. Our Hunter is a legendary demon hunter in the Marvel Universe. And so it's up to the player to sort of lift everybody up and teach them how to face these supernatural threats.
Well, I'm very excited. I love.
Imagine if
I
they
love the
got
work on XCOM. I love
Doomslayer
Marvel
in
Universe.
this.
Seems like this is going to be chocolate and
GG
peanut
to
butter
any
together.
enemy
Marvel
demon
Midnight Suns
base.
will be out in March 2022 across PC, PlayStation 5, PlayStation
Oh, that's
4,
awesome.
Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Thank you so much to Firaxis for joining us today. We can't wait to see more.
No, seriously, Marvel Midnight Suns. I haven't been this excited about a Marvel game in a very long time. I like how they are touching up on the darker side of Marvel. I love how they're bringing Blade. I love how they're bringing Ghost Rider, characters that have not really been introduced. And I swear to God, if people don't know who Blade is, you're not a true Marvel fan. Because I feel like Blade basically started Marvel back in the day without people actually even realizing it. And Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage, bless his heart, but he is not, I loved Ghost Rider in there, but like Ghost Rider is so badass. He's literally one of my favorites of all time, and I just love how they're reintroducing them, especially different parts from the Marvel universe, not just from the Avengers, but also mutants and like just other characters in general. Just bring them all together, and I love it. I'm very excited for this, and I cannot wait to see more. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are excited for this, and did you read Midnight Suns growing up when you were a kid? I read a bit of it when I was at the comic book store, but my mom was always like, that's not for girls, and I'm like, well, shit. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I highly appreciate your time as always. But please do not forget to subscribe and or follow not only to my YouTube, but to my Twitch. You guys know where my YouTube is at. You can find my Twitch at twitch.tv/thegamedame. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.